The F-35, helping you safeguard the skies at home and abroad.
This F-35A is so advanced, so futuristic, that it can literally let pilots see through their own jet.
Sound conditions. Troy 1, switch is hot. 5, 4, 3.
It's the so-called crown jewel of American air power. But here's the shocking truth. Behind the shiny stealth paint, behind the billion-dollar marketing, lies a story of hidden costs, broken promises, and scandals that the Pentagon doesn't want you to know. Yes, we're talking about the jet that has been called both the iPhone of fighter planes and the worst military value for money in history. And wait until you hear about the rumored kill switch that could let the US shut down Allied jets remotely. Stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you'll see why the F-35A isn't just a fighter jet. It's a global controversy. If you love digging into the hidden truths behind military tech, hit subscribe, it's free, and just like a fighter jet taking off, it helps this channel soar. Origins of the F-35A. Back in the 1990s, the US military had a bold dream. One stealth jet that could do it all. Dogfighting, bombing, spying, electronic warfare. One aircraft to replace not just one plane, but many. The F-16, the A-10 Warthog, even the Harrier. To make it happen, the Pentagon launched the Joint Strike Fighter program. The promise? A cheaper, universal jet, with 3 variants for the Air Force, Navy, and Marines. It would be the ultimate jack-of-all-trades warplane. For the Pentagon, it seemed like a masterstroke. Standardized training, cut down on logistics, and save billions by building one common platform instead of 3 or 4 specialized jets. 2 defense giants stepped forward to compete. Boeing, with its chunky, unusual X-32, and Lockheed Martin, with its sleeker, more futuristic X-35. The contest was brutal. Boeing's jet looked odd, but promised reliability. Lockheed's prototype was risky, but dazzled with stealth, speed, and an innovative lift fan system that allowed vertical takeoffs. In 2001, Lockheed Martin won. Why? Their design seemed like the future in metal form, stealthier, faster, and more flexible. It was hailed as the dawn of a new era in combat aviation. The program promised not only cutting-edge technology, but also international cooperation, with allied nations signing up as development partners. But here's the problem. The dream of one jet for all missions was simply too big, too ambitious. By trying to please everyone, the Air Force wanted range and payload, the Navy demanded carrier capability, and the Marines insisted on vertical takeoff. The F-35 became trapped in endless redesigns. The more they tried to satisfy every branch, the more compromises piled up. Those compromises didn't just delay the jet, they triggered cost explosions and complex engineering challenges that would haunt the F-35 for decades. What began as a promise of simplicity and savings morphed into one of the most controversial and expensive weapons programs in history. And these compromises didn't just cost performance, they cost trillions. Why the F-35A looks irresistible. On paper, the F-35A is the stuff of science fiction. Stealth technology so advanced it can slip past radar undetected. A pilot helmet worth $400,000 that lets you literally see through the aircraft, thanks to external sensors. A digital brain that fuses data from radars, cameras, and satellites into a single clear picture. No more cockpit confusion. No more split-second guesswork. The US called it the quarterback of the sky. Not just a jet, but a flying command center that could coordinate other aircraft, drones, and ground troops in real time. For militaries used to juggling separate jets for separate missions, this was sold as a once-in-a-generation leap forward. It sounded so irresistible that allies lined up to buy it. Israel, Japan, the UK, Italy, Australia, Poland, dozens of nations poured billions into the program, eager to own what was branded as the ultimate warplane. But here's the kicker. All this futuristic tech came at a price. The deeper countries got involved, the more they realized that the iPhone of jets wasn't just flashy. It was also a jet that constantly needed updates, patches, and fixes, like a flying piece of beta software. And wait until you hear how often these jets are actually grounded. The trillion-dollar trap. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. The F-35 program is the most expensive weapon system in history. The lifetime bill? Over $1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of entire nations, just for one weapons program. Each F-35A costs around $80 to $100 million to buy. But the true challenge is sustainment. Spare parts, software updates, training infrastructure, and endless maintenance explode the budget. For every single hour the jet flies, it can cost tens of thousands of dollars just to keep it in the air. Some countries started questioning whether the F-35 is even worth it. Spain walked away. India said no thanks. Even Elon Musk chimed in, calling it the worst military value for money in history. Critics argue the program turned into a money trap, enriching contractors while draining treasuries. And the cruel irony? The jet was supposed to save money by replacing multiple aircraft with one. Instead, it became a financial black hole, sucking up defense budgets and forcing nations to sacrifice other priorities. But money isn't the only issue. The F-35 has been plagued with scandals. The scandals that won't go away. One of the biggest scandals? The ALIS system, the jet's so-called logistics brain. It was designed to predict maintenance issues before they happened, a kind of jet Google for mechanics. But in reality, ALIS was so buggy and unreliable that it often grounded planes instead of keeping them combat-ready. After years of frustration and billions spent, the Pentagon had no choice but to scrap it and bring in a new system. Then came the availability crisis. Reports revealed that at times, less than 60% of F-35s were actually mission-ready. Imagine buying a Ferrari only to discover it spends most of its life in the repair shop, not on the road. For frontline militaries, that's not just embarrassing, it's dangerous. And here's the scandal that really shakes trust. The persistent rumor of a US kill switch. Some nations fear Washington could remotely disable their F-35 fleets if political tensions flared. Whether true or not, the suspicion alone has been enough to push countries like Spain and India toward alternatives, preferring jets without invisible strings attached. But here's the wild part. Despite all this, countries are still buying. Why? Why allies keep buying the jet? If the F-35 is so flawed, why do nations keep lining up? Simple. Strategic survival. Take Israel. They not only bought 75 jets, but even customized their own version, the F-35A Lightning II. For Israel, the ability to sneak into hostile airspace undetected is priceless. It's not just a fighter, it's a survival tool in one of the world's most dangerous neighborhoods, where every second of invisibility counts. For others, like Poland or Finland, it's about cementing ties with the US. Buying the F-35 isn't just about the plane. It's about joining the American Defense Club, with shared training, secure data networks, and the promise of US backing in a crisis. That political safety net alone makes the high price tag easier to swallow. And let's not forget economics. Lockheed Martin sweetens the deal with local jobs and industrial contracts. Build a wing here, assemble avionics there. Suddenly the cost feels less painful when thousands of domestic jobs are created. For governments, the F-35 isn't just a jet. It's also a jobs program dressed up as national security. But there's another reason allies stay in the game. The alternatives aren't as shiny as they seem. The F-35 versus the world. The F-35 doesn't fly alone in this arena. Russia, China, Turkey, and Europe all have challengers racing to prove they can match or even surpass it. Russia's Su-57 Felon is faster and more agile, with thrust vectoring nozzles that make it a beast in close dogfights. But its stealth technology is weaker, meaning it's easier for radars to spot. China's J-20 Mighty Dragon has impressive range and size, making it ideal for deep strike missions. But big questions remain about its true stealth profile and engine reliability. Turkey's Khan fighter is ambitious, aiming to give Ankara independence from US jets, but it's still in its infancy. Europe's Eurofighter Typhoon and Rafale are proven, highly capable 4.5 Gen jets, but they simply don't offer true stealth. Here's the thing. While many rivals outshine the F-35 in raw speed or agility, they can't match its sensor fusion, data sharing power, and network integration. Modern warfare isn't just about who turns tighter. It's about who sees first, shoots first, and coordinates better. And in that digital battlefield, the F-35 still reigns supreme. But that doesn't mean it's invincible. In fact, the F-35 could be the last manned jet of its kind. Is the F-35 already obsolete? Here's a curveball. What if the F-35 is already outdated? As we've seen in Ukraine and other modern conflicts, drone swarms and AI-driven aircraft are rewriting the rules of war. Why risk a pilot in a $100 million stealth jet when you could deploy dozens, even hundreds, of autonomous drones for the same cost? Overwhelming defenses with sheer numbers and persistence? Drones are not only cheaper, but they're also expendable. Losing one is a statistic, not a tragedy. Losing an F-35 and its highly trained pilot is a disaster both militarily and politically. That's why some experts argue the logic behind the F-35 is rooted in a 20th century mindset, while the future battlefield is moving rapidly toward autonomy. Even US defense officials are quietly asking, is the F-35 the last of its breed, the final manned fighter before robotic warplanes take over? Generals have already floated the concept of a loyal wingman drone, cheap, AI-guided aircraft designed to fly alongside an F-35, absorb enemy fire, or extend its sensor reach. In that world, the jet becomes less of a lone warrior and more of a command hub directing swarms. Elon Musk certainly thinks so. He argues the future belongs to AI-powered drones, not bulky, manned stealth jets. And he's not alone. Military strategists warn that in tomorrow's wars, software will matter more than hardware. Whoever controls the algorithms, the swarm tactics, and the networks will dominate. The F-35 may be a marvel of engineering, but against an endless cloud of self-learning drones, stealth and speed might not be enough. With drone tech advancing at lightning speed and costs dropping every year, it's a question the Pentagon can't afford to ignore. The uncomfortable truth? The F-35 might already be fighting yesterday's war. But here's the final twist. For all its flaws, the F-35 might still be exactly what the world needs. Flawed, but necessary. The F-35A is overpriced, overcomplicated, and overscrutinized. And yet, it remains one of the most advanced and versatile combat systems ever built. It's not the fastest, not the cheapest, and not the easiest to maintain. But it is the best at something modern militaries care about most: information dominance. In a battlefield crowded with hypersonic missiles, drone swarms, and advanced air defenses, the F-35 offers stealth, data fusion, and network power that no rival can fully match. That makes it less about dogfighting and more about controlling the bigger picture. Yes, it's a paradox. The jet is both a failure and a triumph, both a scandal and a marvel, both a money pit and a lifeline. It's the aircraft everyone loves to criticize but no one can afford to ignore. And maybe that's the real truth. The F-35 isn't just a plane. It's a symbol of modern warfare, messy, expensive, controversial, but absolutely central to how the battles of the future will be fought. So, is the F-35A the future of air combat, or the biggest military scam of our time? That's the trillion-dollar question. One thing's for sure. This jet may be the most hated fighter in the world, but it's also the most wanted. It's criticized, mocked, and doubted. Yet every time the world looks at the battlefield of tomorrow, the F-35 is still right there, front and center. That contradiction says everything. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the scandals and secrets behind the world's most advanced fighter jet, hit that subscribe button. Just like a jet afterburner, it keeps this channel firing on all cylinders. And trust me, you won't want to miss the next mission we're about to launch.